The Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, or ISIS, is a group so vicious and unmanageable that Al-Qaeda expelled them in February of 2014. ISIS uses the ever-expanding safe haven straddling the Iraq-Syria border to pursue a regional Sunni caliphate. Originally intent on striking the regime in Damascus, ISIS has more frequently battled an array of Syrian opposition forces who in turn suspect ISIS of colluding with President Assad. Iraqis dominate ISIS leadership, operate robust local and international funding schemes, and lead several thousand foreign fighters from more than 70 countries in their assault on Iraq's Shiite-dominated government. What do these dramatic developments mean for an already volatile Middle East and the wider world?
Mohammed Al-Adnani made the announcement in an audio statement posted online. Islamic extremists have long dreamed of recreating the Islamic State, or Caliphate, that ruled over the Middle East in various forms for hundreds of years. Abu Muhammad al-Adnani declared the group's chief, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, as the new leader, or caliph, of the Islamic State, and called on those living in areas under the organization's control to swear allegiance to al-Baghdadi and support him. The legality of all emirates, groups, states and organizations becomes null by the expansion of the caliph's authority and the arrival of its troops to their areas, al-Adnani said. He added that with the creation of the caliphate, the group was changing its name to just the Islamic State, dropping the mention of Iraq and the Levant. Al-Adnani loosely defined the caliphate's territory as running from northern Syria to the Iraqi province of Diyala, a vast stretch of land straddling the border that is already largely under the Islamic State's control. It was unclear what immediate practical impact the declaration would have on the ground in Syria and Iraq, but analysts expected it to have a dramatic effect on the wider jihadi community. Charles Lister, a visiting fellow at the Brookings Doha Center, said it will likely have a global impact as Al-Qaeda affiliates and independent jihadist groups must now definitively choose to support and join the Islamic State or to oppose it. The Islamic State's announcement made it clear that it would perceive any group that failed to pledge allegiance an enemy of Islam, he said. Already, this new Islamic State has received statements of support and opposition from jihadist factions.
It has become one of the most powerful fighting groups in the region. Thousands of Arab and foreign fighters make up its ranks. They are led by Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. The mysterious figure was captured by US forces in Iraq in 2005, but was later released. The group has its origins in Al-Qaeda in Iraq, led by Abu Mus'ab al-Zarqawi. Zarqawi was killed by US forces in 2006, and the group became known as the Islamic State in Iraq under the leadership of Abu Umar al-Baghdadi. Baghdadi was killed by US and Iraqi forces in 2010, and the group got a new leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, also known as Ibrahim Awad Ibrahim al-Badri.
This is the unofficial affiliation of Al-Qaeda. It subscribes to Al-Qaeda's central ideology and tactics. Is one of the most extremist militant organizations in the jihadist family.
The group moved into Syria, but when Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi tried to bring another jihadi group known as the Nusra Front under his control, Al-Qaeda disowned him. But that didn't stop Baghdadi's campaign. His group now controlled parts of northern and eastern Syria, including oil fields. In January, ISIL fighters sent a large force to Iraq's Anbar province. The Iraqi government launched a military campaign against the group, but it failed to root out ISIL fighters in Fallujah and Ramadi. And over the last week, ISIL launched daring attacks in two cities, Samarra and Mosul. Now the group controls territory in 3 Iraqi provinces bordering Syria, and that secures the free movement of weapons and fighters between the two countries. ISIL sources of funding and power remains unclear.
Most probably it funds its own activities by relying on criminality, by relying on local donations, a great deal of private citizens in the Gulf, basically in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Qatar and other places send funds. But obviously it has its own sources inside Iraq itself and Syria.
Other critics claim the group is implementing the agenda of the Syrian, Iraqi and Iranian regimes. ISIL's real goals and backers remain unknown, but their attacks have now caught everyone's attention. Omar Saleh, Al Jazeera.